Everybody, welcome back to the shop today. Today we are going to be working on our 2022 Suzuki DRZ400 Supermoto, and we are going to be deleting that kickstand switch. I'll go over exactly what it does, why you may or may not want to do it, and hopefully we'll do a step-by-step procedure on exactly how to get the job done. So let's get right into it. Okay, so what is the kickstand switch do? Well, this is it right here. If you guys can see, get you right on in there. As the kickstand comes down, that switch opens up, loses its contact point, and it actually stalls the engine or kills the bike. Switch comes back up, allows the bike to continue to run. Now, what I've had happen is you get a little wild hair and you pop a wheelie upon your landing. Whenever you come down, the stand moves, and it does have a pretty stiff spring in here. It's actually like a double spring, but I've had that go down and shut the bike off, and it freaked me out. So what I'm gonna be doing is we're gonna be deleting this switch today, so it will start with the stand down. So we will be able to start the bike with the stand down now after we do this, but let's go over exactly what we gotta do to get rid of that. Does all this stuff look familiar? This is the crap that comes with your bike. Actually, it's not too bad. Thought I'd do something a little bit different today, and let's use the tools out of this to get the job done, with the exception of a couple other things. We are going to be using a pair of snips, maybe a couple zip ties, a piece of heat shrink, maybe one of these little twisty doos, and then maybe a heat gun. Okay, so I am going to take the fat screwdriver from the kit, and I'm going to take the 8mm here, and we're going to get this seat off. And yes, I have fancy hand tools. I just thought it would be fun to use the actual tools supplied in the kit. Next, I'm going to take this side panel off with these 3 Zeus fasteners. I'm using the same tool and flipping it over, using the 10mm end. We're going to be undoing this 10mm. Holds the CDI box cover on. That'll pop off. Gonna loosen up the factory wire ties. There's one there. There's also one here. And this one here actually doesn't look like it unhooks. So I don't know if I'll be able to snake the wire through there, so I might end up having to cut this. Maybe. Well, if I wasn't supposed to, I did it anyways. And I'll end up zip tying these back. And there is one more zip tie right here. This is our kickstand switch, so that's gonna have to come out. A small pair of cutters will be helpful. Okay, once I've got all of the zip ties loose, lower my kickstand down, put on my 10mm again. Not very tight at all. Get these bolts out, and our kickstand switch should be free. We'll trace these wires, figure out exactly what they hook to up underneath the seat. And now that those are out, well, that was it's pretty easy. Looks like it connects to this green one right here. Just press down on that tab, and we should be able to disconnect it. Okay, so this is the one that actually goes to the bike. This tab right here, you're going to want to press down on like that. I'll press down, and then this one should come loose. And this should be attached to our kickstand switch. Route it through the bottom. There we go. And this whole kickstand switch assembly is now off. So let's see what we got to do to it next. Okay, so we have our whole kickstand switch assembly. Now keep in mind, the only thing that this does, when this is closed, it essentially it closes those two together. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to clip this plug off, and we're going to butt connect these together. Yes, solder would probably be better, but I'm going to splice or split this wire back a little bit here. Pull it back a little ways and cut this. I'm just going to clip it right here. Now I'm left with a pigtail, so let's strip these wires. Okay, so we've got our wires stripped. Now the only thing we're going to do is butt them together. So I'm actually going to take and butt these together. That's where my little butt connector is going to come into play. Yes, solder is better and more waterproof. I 100% agree with you, but I did that in 30 seconds. What I am going to do is I'm going to take a piece of this blue heat shrink and put it over that connector, kind of in the middle somewhere. We're going to heat it up. That's probably pretty weatherproof, and we butted that together there. So let's get this back on the bike. It's all connected back together. Just tuck it down in there. We'll reroute our wires. This is the one that I actually cut. We'll just pry it out of there, and I'll end up just throwing a new one all the way around the frame, just so everything is still secure. You don't want to really pinch them too tight. Put that off. Factory ones back together. I love these reusable factory ones. So I did end up just kind of routing this one underneath that factory wire. And put our side panel back on. There we go. Whoever invented those was a genius. Get our... you want to put your CDI bracket back on. Make sure your tabs are nice and lined up. Okay, moment of truth. Let's fire it up with the kickstand down. Yep, it works. All right, everybody, that is it. Really simple to do, very minimal tools. Thought it was kind of fun to use the tools out of the factory supplied kit there. But yeah, that's gonna be a useful mod for me. I do have a tendency to like to pop the wheelies. That kickstand comes down from time to time. It'll scare the shit out of you. If you do off-road, like for a DRZ400, a 400S, a 400E, whatever, that kickstand probably has a tendency to bounce down quite a bit. So this is something that you might wanna do. If you guys have any questions about that, you can always hit me up on Instagram at scottlink_L5P. As always, I appreciate everybody for watching. Until next time, thank you and take care. Made the blooper reel. She's in the blooper reel.
You stop. Problems.
What?